next to go. I checked the line. He was next to go.
Bondzee Live. Bondzee on YouTube.
It's like the bottom of the ninth, and I'm never gonna win this. Life hasn't turned out quite the way I want it to be.
Tell me what you want.
I want a brand new house on an episode cribs and a bathroom I can play baseball in, and a king size tub big enough for 10 plus me.
Tell me what you need.
I need a credit card that's got no limit, and a king size chair with a bedroom in it. Gonna join my high club at 37,000 feet. I need a new tour bus filled with old guitars and a star on Hollywood Boulevard. Somewhere between Cher and James Dean is fine with me. I'm gonna trade this life for fortune and fame. I'll even cut my hair and change my name, 'cause we all just wanna be big rock stars living hilltop houses and driving 15 cars. The girls come meet me and the drugs come cheap. We'll all stay skinny 'cause we just won't eat, and we'll hang out in the coolest bars in the VIP with the movie stars. If a good gold digger's gonna wind up there, Playboy bunny with the beach blonde hair, and we'll, hey, hey, I wanna be a rock star. Well, hey, hey, I wanna be a rock star. I'm through with standing.
This man just doesn't give two fucks. Packing his heat right on top of the rope at this little golf event. We can't tell really. The talent on his right might indicate that that thing just hasn't moved in fucking years. And this man just doesn't give
Oh dear, how the hell are you? What a way to start the show. Gotta love Revive the Rose, great band out of St. Catharines, Niagara Falls area in Ontario, Canada. Make sure you go check them out on all their socials. That was a dope. I had to play it. I reached out to him. I said, that was super badass. And I had to play it on the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Not the biggest Nickelback fan. And listen, but they do have some great songs. And a lot of people love them. So there you go. And that was a super great cover. Revive the Rose. Go check them out. How the hell are you? And what about Buddy packing some massive heat, just dangling it on the ropes there? Not a big deal. Hey, listen, they say if you got it, flaunt it, right? I almost knocked my mic over 1 minute, 2 minutes into the show. Good for you, Bonds. It is Bonds. Bondzee Live, Trippin With Bondzee on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. We're everywhere. We're in Hamilton right now. And by golly gee, it feels like I'm like, what do you call it? A Johnny come lately. I'm in Hamilton for like 3 or 4 days a week. And then boom, every single weekend I've been gone. And even sometimes during the weekend, it's been fantastic. Like what an amazing summer so far. We'll get into it all. I just had another epic week on the road. Well, 4 or 5 days. Listen, it all just rolls together, quite frankly. It's episode 256. It's all good, baby. How are you? Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a great week so far. Make sure you go and subscribe on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all the social medias. It's out there. It's for you to go follow. And I would really appreciate it if you went to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification, and then you'll never miss a show from old Bonzarelli. That depends on the old future of old Bonzarelli, because we got some things cooking. But listen, for now, I ain't going anywhere. So we got some great guests coming up too. Tonight, we got a soccer guy. You say, why soccer, Bonds? Because it's the Women's World Cup. And stop being so ignorant out there, you fellas. There's some pretty ladies playing that game. I don't know if you haven't noticed, but I have. That's for sure. Team Canada's out. Yes, we're going to talk soccer with my boy Josh. He's from Soccer One, also his own YouTube channel, JJD TV. Yo, BC Charette, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. He says, yo, Bondzee. It's been a while since you've tuned in, or I've seen you at least pop up and say hello. Thanks for tuning in, bro. What else? Oh, Alan Cross was supposed to be on the show last week. I screwed up. Okay. I was Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa. Like, what do you want from me? We're going to get into all that in a second, but I'm really looking forward to my guest tonight. I gotta make nice with Alan, and we'll see if he'll come back. I'm sure he will. Super nice guy. Listen, he just had a life scare, so at this point, I'm sure he's pretty thankful to even be here because it was that close. And we'll talk about it with Alan when he's on the show because I can feel it. Positive vibes. He'll be on the show again soon for sure. Plus, I'm working on some other beauties as well. JJ Wild, wonderful musician, and a bunch of other musicians as well. So stick around. Really looking forward to that coming up. We also got Dummies of the Week tonight. There's a bunch of them. And then aliens. I don't know. Like, what's with the aliens? Can they just come? Can we see them? Why does the government and all the security guys have to be so security still? We all know they're out there. We all know they exist. And if you don't think they exist, then you're a fucking retard. A retard. Not a retard, because you can't say retard, you can say retard. Because it's from the movie Hangover. Don't be that guy. They're real. They're out there for sure. And if you think any different, I hope they come for you first. In a bad way. Because I honestly want aliens to come. I want to see an alien. I'd love for an alien to come. Oh, you know, they're speaking to me in like tongue and English and whatever they communicated in. I'm pretty sure they have heard about me up in space. Because I've had some pretty good interviews and I'm a pretty fun guy. And I like to do fun guys. Oh, wait, that sounded so wrong. By fun guys, I meant mushrooms. Wow. Bonds, you got to be very careful. Be thankful before you speak, mister, please. Okay, let's reiterate. I do not. Never mind. Let's just move on. Okay, what else? Oh, and the best video ever. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but there's this pantload of a cop in Boston. He ends up going down a kid's slide, and it is the worst epic fail I've ever seen in my life. Can't wait to show you the video, talk about it, laugh at it. I got some questions, too, because, listen, what the hell is going on in Boston with these police, okay? Listen, I don't know if I'll have sponsors much longer after I just said I did fungus. Listen, does it really matter if my sexual orientation? No, it doesn't, okay? I really, really, really love women. I don't know how many more times I have to reiterate that. I fell in love so many times since Wednesday night at Wiz Khalifa. We'll get into it in a minute. I can't even. There were so many. I fell in love. Like there was 18 of my future ex-wives there. Like it was crazy. I can't even believe it. The show is brought to you by Carefree Camping Rentals, folks. If you are in the mood to go camping this summer and TikTok, okay, I hate to say it. I know, but it's August. I don't know where the fuck July went and effed off to, but she gone. Okay, she gone. It's August. If you want to go camping, you don't have the stuff. You're all worried. What am I going to do? I don't want to buy stuff. There's only like 4 or 6 weeks left in the summer. Carefree Camping Rentals has got you covered. Go hit them up on Facebook, on their webpage. She's got everything: the tents, the sleeping bags, the chairs, the poker thingy, so you can roast marshmallows around the fire with your new lady. And maybe she's got some kids, and you want to like still get some action with the mom, right? Because she's your new lady. Well, you got the accoutrements to be able to roast marshmallows with the kids. And if you're really feeling savvy, Buster, you could roast them a Rice Krispie over the fire. That is guaranteed to get in the mom's pants. Guaranteed. You heard it here first. It's Carefree Camping Rentals. Get it from my girl up in Aurelia. Head up north. You just pick it up on her front porch. And guess what? You do the same thing on the way back. Instead of picking it up, you drop it up. You say, see you later. Goodbye. God bless. And you take care. So when you get home, there's hardly anything empty from the car. Love that company. Love that girl. She's amazing. She's a cancer survivor. And she started this company. And she's the best, and you are too, and you should take advantage of her and take advantage of the girl's mom. Your new, the kid, put the kids in the tent, shove them away. Fire's done, marshmallows, fill them with sugar, and then put them to bed and say adios. Okay, what's next? We got another one. Oh yeah, the Coop in Waterdown. It's my bro's new restaurant. I'm looking for the picture. There we go. If you were in the Waterdown, Hamilton, Oakville, Burlington, I don't know, region of anywhere in the Waterdown area, make sure you go to the Coop, okay, folks? Easily one of the best chicken sandwiches I've ever had. Probably top 2. Wings are probably top 3, top 4. They bumped up a bit because I've been going around and having some wings. And listen, I'm not very happy, okay? I've been happy with the coop, though. My boy takes care of me, bro in the back there. That's his kids in front of him, and that's my handsome fellas in the photo also. My bro takes care of us. He'll take care of you, too. Go check out the coop in Waterdown. All right, here we go. You ready? What a week last week. I can't believe it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Bondzee Live is back. I did play hooky last week. It wasn't that I played hooky. I was all prepared to do the show. We were going to have Alan Cross. We were going to have the soccer guy. We were going to just do it all. We were going to have a hell of a good time. And then I got the chance to go to Snoop Dogg Wiz Khalifa for the first time, and I was like, bye. Oh, Wiz's new song's called See Ya. That's what I should have played at the beginning. See Ya, because that was Bondzee last week. See Ya. I was out, had a great time at the concert. Listen, I can't even begin to explain what a goddamn night this was. Now, I wish I took that photo. I did not. My ass was way at the back of the bus. Now, not the very back of the bus, thankfully, but that was taking photo credit for my son, either Ty or Brad. I can't remember which one. But listen, they were up front and center, first row. And the boys got to meet Wiz, too. There's Brad smoking doobies with Wiz right there. There's my boy Ty kicking it with Wiz. Listen, epic times for the boys. Nothing but great memories. And there's us up in the lawn meeting for a little puffy puff and a drink before pre-show. And, we bought lawn seats, but we're lucky enough, me and my brother on the far left, got into the 400 sections. Sadly, and actually I say sadly, but not really. The amount of rain that came down at that concert, I've never seen anything like it before. I've been to a plethora of outdoor concerts in my lifetime, and I've endured some rain. I have never, ever endured rain like I did. And it was awesome, though. It made the experience that much better. The shrooms kicked in at the most amazing time. Lest you think Wiz Khalifa just went out there and roamed around and stuff. He had the most amazing visuals on this massive screen behind him. There you can see it right there, and you can sort of get a gist of how far back I was compared to my boys in the front row. But it's all good. Listen, you can't be front row for every single show. Listen, it was unbelievable. Nice shroom trip, tons of weed. There was a lot of times that you couldn't smoke weed or take pictures or video because it was raining so goddamn hard. And we were right where the roof ended, but it was okay. It really did make it a way better experience. Experiencing it in that kind of rain. It was something special, and it was great to hang with my boys. Great to hang with my brother. We took the GO train down from Hamilton, and folks, if you're not from Ontario and you're watching this around the world, the GO train is going on sort of the New York City subway, or the subway in downtown Toronto. It's a treat in itself. Listen, you never ever know what you're going to find on there. It's pretty easy to ride for free, so you'll get all kinds on there and all sorts. And we certainly did, especially on the way back later at night. I watched a fella in the bathroom go in with one girl, open the door whilst receiving, let's say, a Hummer from said first girl in the bathroom, calls in another girl, and comes out 4 minutes later with the biggest grin on his face I've ever seen. Listen, I had a really, really, really good night at that show. That guy had a better time. Just saying. No, it really was epic. Snoop Dogg, I mean, listen, I'm so glad I got to see him. It was my first time ever. It was off the charts. They did not disappoint. Wiz Khalifa, honestly, that is not my last time seeing Wiz. I am fascinated by the show they put on. It's not just a show. It's a show and above. Like, it's pretty special. And man, oh man, did I ever have a great time. And everybody else, the positive vibes and the energy in that building that you could feel through everybody. Didn't see one fight the entire night. It was just a puff of smoke everywhere as far as you could see. And it was just, like I said, positive vibes. And wow, what an experience. And I'm glad I played hooky. And then I was supposed to do the show on Thursday. I said, well, I'll do a show Thursday, because I had no plans. And then I got this last minute audition that I had to go film for a short film in Toronto that I really, really, really want. Because this film is being entered into the TIFF, the Banff Film Festival, the Cannes Film Festival, etc. And I personally feel it was one of my best auditions that I've ever done. I had to cry. which wasn't that hard because all I did was look at some pictures of my boy, my best friend that just passed away, and on Christmas Eve this past year, and then I just went right into character, filmed it, and it turned out amazing. So fingers crossed that I get it. And then I've got another audition tomorrow in Toronto for a short film. And I'm scared for this one because it's the first time I've ever had to go down to Toronto, go into the studio and do it in front of a gaggle of people. So that's going to be different for me for sure. But we'll see. Confidence is bliss. And listen, speaking of confidence, I've got a ton of it right now. I went up to Turkey Point this weekend after the Thursday audition and stuff that I filmed with a few friends. I had their help, and a big shout out to Phil and his daughter Ivy for helping me out with that audition. I was going to play it for you tonight. I thought you probably don't even want to see it. Who gives a shit? Even though it was my best one. If you do want to see it, let me know. I could probably pull it up, and if not, I'll play it next week. And then I'll let you know next week if I get it or not. Fingers crossed. So we'll see what happens. And then Turkey Point. You want to talk about hot women at the Wiz Khalifa and the with Snoop Dogg show? Turkey Point, for a place that's out in the middle of nowhere on Lake Erie, all tucked away up outside of Port Dover. That place. I can't even believe it. I was at a loss for words there for a minute because there is a fuck ton of hot women there. And listen, they're all beautiful inside and out. It's not just all about the outside look. So don't get me wrong, okay? So stop yelling at me. You're not even my real mom. I'm talking about people that are just like, I met so many wonderful people from going there. They're like 3 or 4 times this summer now, and made some great new friends. So many beautiful women out there. Beautiful guys too. Don't get me wrong. The fellas out there are handsome. Thumbs up to the guys, okay? Not here to just pump up the ladies' tires. You got the guys out there too. I just love it out there. I've had such a great time. Really did have a great time this past weekend. Beautiful sunset Friday night, right before the festivities got started. I was up there Thursday night late. We went golfing Friday. Big shout out to my guy, Matt, who has a corporate membership, and he took a bunch of us out golfing Friday morning. That was a great time. Yes, I did lose. We played best ball, though. I haven't played best ball in a while. My partner was this guy, this beauty right here, the host at Tequilaville, the owner of Tequilaville. That's my boy, Billy. He played great. I played great. But listen, Matt and his guy, excuse me, that was a burp that was like almost a throw up. I don't know. I shouldn't eat too late before the show, or right before the show. But listen, I really did have such a great time. That's my other host, Cindy. I've never laughed so much as I did with Cindy this past weekend. We all had an epic time. We went out to Potahawk. We golfed. We fished. We hiked. Oh, I got to show you. Fuck. I didn't load it in. I'm going to play it next week. I met this dog. And this dog is the fastest dog I've ever met in my entire life. You wouldn't even believe it if when I show you the video, because this thing can run like a motherfucker. It was absolutely awesome. I really did have another epic time in Turkey Point. It never disappoints. I don't know how they do it up there. It's like a vortex. You get sucked in. From Thursday to like Monday. I tried to leave Sunday. They're like, no, we're going to Potahawk. It's boating down Potahawk. Drag my ass out to Potahawk. And I'm glad I did because my good God, what a great time. Played football, tons of hot women, and great tunes and great people and epic times. Okay, that's enough about me. That's enough about the weekend, the blah, 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 the photo shoots or the good luck tomorrow, Bonds, on the, what is it, audition for some movie in Toronto. And, I mentioned... I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'll tease it. We'll talk about it later because I'm done talking about me and what I've been up to. But there's a girl. There's girls. There's girls that I like, and we'll just leave it at that. And a little tickle of the feather for next week because we're running out of time here. I've got shit to get to. My guest just popped in, saved by the guest. And then we got to get to the other stories as well because I got a lot to share. Dan T, what's up, bro? Thanks for tuning in. Listen, just chilling tonight. I'm tired. It's been a crazy weekend. It's been a crazy week of work. I just worked 24 hours in the past 2 days. Today I worked another, we're at 10. So it has been a go, but I'm not complaining because I get to work hard and I play hard and I work hard. And listen, it's all a balance and we have a great time. And then I get to do this and entertain you guys and entertain myself because God knows I don't really need it anymore. I've never felt so positive and so better mentally in the past almost 3 months now. Big shout out to Dan Nossi for that, and we're continuing on the healthy train and the less drinking and the and what do you call it, the healing projects, if you will. Mushrooms have been a really massive help for me now, and I can't even listen, folks. You got to go experience it for yourself. If you need help, you want to talk about it, let me know, and we'll go from there. Cheers to you as well, Dan. All right. I think it's about that time. I want to talk some soccer. You want to hear some soccer? It's Women's World Cup. The ladies, the Women's World Cup and the ladies soccer is really taking off. And I think it's about time. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. All right. It's time for my guest. I've been looking forward to talking to this guy. He was supposed to be on last week, but as we know, Bondzee bailed for good old Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg, which I still don't regret. So there. Listen, his name's Josh. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him yet, but turns out we have mutual friends in Turkey Point. And I think one of those mutual friends is his actual mom and dad who I met at Tequilaville that I was just mentioning earlier. This guy is fantastic. He started a podcast, not so much a podcast, but a show on YouTube, a YouTube channel. We're going to get all into it. Let's bring him on. Without further ado, it's my friend Josh. Folks, bear with me for one hot second. Technical difficulties, you gotta love them. You take 1 week off and you get fisted. They're like, how dare you take a week off? Now we're gonna F with you. Ready? I'll try again. It's guest time. Please welcome tonight's guest. It's Josh from JJD TV. I had the pleasure of not really meeting him, but finding out about him in Turkey Point. We're going to talk all about that. He's got a great soccer. It's not a podcast, and we're going to get into that. It's a great soccer show on YouTube. Please welcome to the show. It's Josh.
Thank you so much. Yes, Turkey Point is a hilarious story there, but
what a party place that is, isn't it?
Yeah, it was fun growing up in Turkey Point. I had 3 or 4 close buddies whose parents all had cottages down there, and we spent a lot of time at the Turkey Point Hotel. Don't do it as much anymore, but definitely a hot spot for fun.
It's definitely a hot spot for fun in the summer, and there's so much to do. I mean, you got Potahawk, there's boats, there's jet skis, there's great fishing there. It must have been a lot of fun growing up there as a kid, eh?
Yeah, I felt spoiled. And then, like I said, the fact when I was going into high school, I had like 4 buddies have their parents all move down there. I was with my best friends pretty much every single weekend from the time I was 14 to basically 24, 25. I still go down, but just not quite as much.
Yeah, well, it's easy to get sucked into that party vortex,
Yes,
especially in the summer, like I was saying before the show. Anyways, your love of soccer, where you're very passionate about it and stuff. This is something I've come to know from talking to different people in Turkey Point. Where does the love of the game come from?
I think just playing it. I only played really 2 sports growing up. I played hockey and I played soccer. I was a lot better at soccer, but there wasn't a lot of avenues living in a small town that I could have played. So I mostly played competitive hockey. I played versions of competitive soccer growing up. I was always very good at it. And then I ended up trying out for a couple when I was a little bit older, maybe like 16. I tried out for a couple travel teams and made them both. And then I went to college and played varsity indoor and outdoor there. And I just fell in love with watching the sport. And I think the big thing that caught me was, North American sports are so different than the way that soccer is run. So you have your long seasons, and in some cases like basketball, baseball, hockey, and then you have your playoff format. where over in Europe, it's just so much different. I think that always caught my attention when I was younger, how many talented leagues there were, that the league itself, there was no playoff structure, just the league itself was so important to winning a championship, to getting relegated, and then the other cup competition. So just, I was fascinated by the game. And then there was no real at the time when I got into it, there wasn't much here in terms of Canadian soccer. So that definitely grew over my lifetime. And I'm lucky to be a part of it right now.
Yeah, it sure has. And we're going to get into all that. So we got the Women's World Cup going on, and you got a cool new job, everything soccer. It's pretty cool. I love soccer myself. I've been a big fan. It's hard not to. Both my parents from England. So big shout out to the Bristol Rovers. My mom's from Bristol. Fuck Bristol City. Man United fan right here as well. I'm not sure what's your premier team over in England.
It was behind me here. It's over here. It's Chelsea. I don't know if
Chelsea,
you can see
okay.
my
Yeah.
Eden Hazard jersey there, but yeah, Chelsea
Right
was my team. That was my first ever team I ever discovered. So
yeah, cool. And not a bad team to follow, for sure.
last season.
So you played the game. Let's talk about what the Women's World Cup is going on right now between Australia and New Zealand. We're into the final 16 now. It's a pretty exciting first round. Unfortunately, Canada didn't make it. Excuse me. You built a significant following leading up to the Women's World Cup on your YouTube channel and stuff. A lot of soccer related content. Can you share some tips or strategies of how you got started with a YouTube channel and to where it's sort of flourished to and got to now?
Yeah, it started all the way back in COVID. It's funny because you'll understand this, but growing up, I always wanted to work in sports. I think it's an easy thing to say, hard thing to pull off, because
Sure.
I liked drinking, having fun, like partying. Like, I mean, I was a teenager, so when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do growing up, if you're going to commit to this sports life, you got to know that weekends are there. You just can't get around it. That's when a lot of the games are. It's where a lot of the commitment has to happen. So when I went into school, I kind of said, you know what, like, I spend every weekend at Tricky Point, and I've done it for pretty much a decade plus. So I didn't go that route originally. I went through school at Conestoga College and got a marketing degree in international business, and then had a couple of jobs just kind of working in kind of a sports field in a way. I worked at like a sports camp with a former boss of mine who I really, really appreciated everything he's done for me. And then it kind of led to COVID, where that got shut down. I was thinking of applying to a Vancouver Whitecaps Academy in London. I ended up getting a job there, but unfortunately, again, COVID knocked it down. So I was like, well, that was going to be my end. I don't really know what to do right now. I got laid off, and I thought if there was ever a time to do so, I need to take it now. So I reached out to my best friend, who I've known since I was 4, and he went through broadcasting. And I said, do you want to team up and try to create something over on YouTube? And I thought that I didn't think I would find a market that I could penetrate enough to make money on YouTube. I thought that the strategy should be come up with an idea and a niche market that you could hopefully get hired on for.
So soccer wasn't even really on the radar at first when you were looking at starting a channel?
No, it definitely was. No, it's sorry.
Okay.
Yes. So I wanted to create a soccer YouTube channel. I just didn't know exactly what it was going to be.
Gotcha.
And I wanted my buddy to produce it and help make it look clean. But I didn't want to go into like, the Premier League, for example. Like it's such a big market already. It's hard to basically be seen. So I originally I'm a Dortmund fan as well. That was my pretty much my main team I followed. They're like, the Bundesliga side, and have a bunch of Dortmund kits here if you can tell. But they had no presence on YouTube, no English presence on YouTube. So they're a massive club. There's a couple Americans that were on the side, and the US is such a big booming soccer market as well. So I thought that was going to be my end, to create a fan channel. So with the goal of getting hired on by Borussia Dortmund, I wanted to kind of be that English barrier to help, show the team, show the league. And it worked. We grew pretty quickly on YouTube. We did match reviews, previews, watch-alongs, and created a really cool little community there. And Dortmund ended up reaching out, and I ended up doing, it was awesome. I thought that was like my big break. I was like, Dortmund reached out to us. We ended up being a Twitch host, helped develop a fan app where I put videos and previews and stuff over on the fan app. And I was doing pretty much everything I'd imagined to get offered a full-time job. Like that was the goal. Like,
right.
But it didn't seem like the money was going to be there. And probably would have had to, if I was going to really pursue it, head to Germany, which I wasn't really willing to do with a girlfriend and, you know, a life here. So I had to
Nobody
make
wants to leave Party Town Turkey Point.
apparently, but it was a tough decision. And I went to my producer and said, hey, Taylor, like I don't know, like we can keep doing this, but I don't think if we couldn't get Dortmund to hire us for what we're looking to do, I think this is more so of a passion project as opposed to something that we could turn into a full-time job. So this was just before the Men's World Cup started, so the qualifying. So I'm big fan of Canadian soccer, and I always have been. It's just it didn't really have the reach because the national team hasn't really done much on the men's side of things.
Right.
So I told Taylor, I'm like, do you want to try covering the first game in qualifying and see how it goes? He said, sure. And then we covered that game, and we had a huge hit, the biggest video we had on the channel, covering a topic that I thought was almost, you know, that would be popular enough maybe to get attention. So we started doing that and kind of shifted away from covering Dortmund and covered the Canadian men's national team during their run to the 2022 World Cup. And One Soccer, the company that I ended up working on, and my boss, Armin, who's done incredible things to help Taylor and I get hired on, reached out to us and liked what we were doing. We were covering the national team and covering their entire run basically up until they qualified for the World Cup. And he ended up asking us to come on and do videos for them, and did that for a few months. And now Taylor and I got hired on full-time over at One Soccer, covering Canadian soccer. So the Canadian Premier League, the women's national team, men's national team, MLS clubs, anything. The Canadians Abroad, a series that I created that's on TV right now. So
Nice.
A lot of incredible things that ended up happening through this. But
so COVID worked out pretty good for you, Josh?
You'd say so. You'd say so. It's a big.
Well, listen, it was all, you know, COVID came and you made the best of it. You know, sort of like myself. I started this podcast or show because of COVID and stuff. And my sort of moving ahead took me on a sort of a different path. But yours certainly came out awesome. And congrats on the new job with One Soccer. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was a goal. Like I said, like I get a lot of questions around building a YouTube channel, and it's just, I think one of the most important things is just you have a clear idea of what you want. Like you have to have realistic goals. Like I said, I didn't, not that I didn't believe that I could ever do it. I just didn't think that with my lifestyle, with my life, having I have a fiance now. I just didn't know if I could pull off doing certain topics and breaking into the market the way that you could find success. You want a return on your investment. You're putting in time. Every creator out there puts in time in their project. So it was trying to best position yourself. And I thought finding an avenue to show what I do is important to whatever subject I decide to do. I want an end goal. And like I said, my end goal originally was get hired on by Dortmund. Didn't work, shifted. My goal was to get hired on by One Soccer. And luckily enough, we had a great boss who believed in us and hired us on. And now we're part of the team. So it was an incredible journey. And I'm just so grateful to be able to get here.
Cool. So you definitely have the talent. You've got the love and the passion of the game of soccer. The YouTube side of things, hard to learn. Was it a lot of sort of research and watching YouTube videos of how to make your channel bigger and better? How did you, or was it sort of natural and you just brought people in because of the talent and the content you were sort of offering?
Yeah, I think it's a big thing is finding a topic that isn't overcrowded, because if you gotta find out what the algorithm and what it is looking for. And if you join a crowded market, unless you're special, which in certain subjects it's hard to be special and go to the top of the line. So when I went on the Dortmund side of things, it was learning about the algorithm, learning what people will want to look up to find you. And my target was to find Dortmund fans, English Dortmund fans. And immediately when we found little things that work, you just kind of build on it, and covering games and takeaways from games and reviews and getting on different creators and talking and just kind of creating a community around that. And the same went for the Canadian side of things. Is there was not a ton of coverage on YouTube. There's no coverage on YouTube for the Canadian soccer. So when I did it, people wanted to know what was going on. This national team went on just an incredible run, and I didn't get to where I was because of I wouldn't say not. Dortmund got me some following, but it was the timing of the men's national team, because this is unprecedented. No one has seen this. Last time Canada qualified for the World Cup was '86. Times have changed since then. Yeah. And to go on this magical run that a lot of people didn't think Canada was even going to qualify for the World Cup. Right. So that was the reason I jumped on a topic that was trending in the right direction, and it helped me kind of skip over a lot of the algorithm and get to the top.
Nice. Well, good for you for figuring that out. We've talked Canada. You just mentioned Canada and the men's team. That was pretty wild. Heartbreaking loss, obviously. A Women's World Cup's going on right now. Canada was in it. They qualified the hot off an Olympics gold medal. And now they're out after the first round. Walk me through that. Devastating, right? Like we expected a little better. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. It was a difficult group. Some said that it was the group of death. I somewhat agree with it.
Yeah.
If you look at the FIFA rankings, Canada was 7th, Australia was 10th, Ireland was 22nd, and Nigeria was 40th. Although Nigeria is far from a 40th ranked nation, they have a lot of talent in that side. We took them on in the first round, and it's hard to look back on one moment that changed it. But in that first match, we ended up drawing 0-0. But Christine Sinclair missed a penalty, and
that was a bummer, eh? She'll look back on that now and really kick herself for missing that, because that could have been the difference of us moving on to the 16, right?
It could have been, and it sucks. Sports are cruel that way. This is a player who scored 190 international goals. She's a player with the most goals, men or women, at the international level. So,
Crazy.
It's someone you want to take that penalty. Although Jessie Fleming is their designated penalty taker, but she was out injured. And unfortunately, we only took a point from there, had a good battle against Ireland to go and pick up a 3 points there to put us in a really good position against Australia. We only needed a draw. And I think the biggest criticism that will come from this World Cup is the way that we handled that last match against Australia. This is a side that's built on the back line. It's what got them to the Olympic success. They have a very talented core at the back. They know how to defend. And going into this Australian side, they're the ones that needed the win. If Australia would have drew or lost, they would have been out. We just needed to draw. And the way that we were so open and we allowed Australia to kind of come at us was just not the right game plan. We wanted Australia to have the ball. We wanted to give them the opportunity to create, and we were just going to defend and do what we do best. But unfortunately, Australia got an early goal. We looked wide open, and then that trend continued as Australia then allowed us to have a ton of the ball. We weren't able to create anything with it. The build-up play was just non-existent, and we ended up getting just ran down in transition, and they scored 3 goals on the counter, but one was ruled off, and they ended up walking away with a 4-0 win. So it was just the wrong game plan. It was a big head scratcher as to why we approached the game that way, and unfortunately it just didn't turn out, and Canada go home empty-handed.
Coach to fully blame for that, or
I mean I have trouble fully pointing the finger at Bev, because I think she's done such an incredible job with this program. It seemed like a bit of a naive strategy. Like it just didn't make a lot of sense. You'd assume a team that, like I said, is built to defend, has some of the most talented defenders in the world. There's a lot of question marks in her starting 11s, the way that she was lining this side up. Some players were in positions that maybe they didn't naturally thrive in. And I mean, I guess it's in that last game, it's definitely fair to point the finger at her, but the players weren't up for it as well. Like,
you could tell right from the get-go, honestly, Josh, that they were flat. I mean, it looked like, what you want. It's Canada. You're playing for your country. You're all excited. It's a must win or must draw game, and then we're on. And it's almost like they just took Australia too lightly, especially as being, on home turf and everything. They just did not look good, eh?
No, the Matildas were also missing the best player in the world right now, Sam Kerr. So I don't know if it was just, and again, that's why I'm like, I don't fully point. I have question marks around Bev's decisions with the starting 11, with the way that she's played this tournament, but she was in a good position going into this game. And when the effort is just not there, you can't always point it at the coach. I don't like the tactics. I don't like the reason that they were so open, but right from the get-go, they had to be open after the first goal. Once the first goal went in, now Canada's one who has to chase the match. So I understood why it opened up a bitch, that they just couldn't create and they got hit on the counter. But it was that first, the first 10 minutes of the game, this team looked completely off. They weren't up for it, and they deservedly went home with nothing. It's just as simple as that.
Besides the shitty last game, Canada does have some very talented players, young players. Where do you see this squad moving forward with these talented players? But after coming off a big loss like that too, is that going to affect them moving forward?
It's important to rebound and have an identity of where you want to go going forward, because there's a lot of talented, experienced players in this side that maybe it's time to do a changing of the guard. And a colleague of mine and myself built a starting 11 with a lot of these core players, and we were able to put together a side that the oldest player in that side was 28 years old. So there's still a ton of talented players that are playing overseas and playing at the highest level, but there's important games coming up in September, we take on Jamaica. It's a 2-leg affair to find out who's going to qualify for the next Olympics. So it could, I mean, Jamaica just upset Brazil this morning, and they're heading to the knockouts. So it's an important opportunity for Canada. This is the defending Olympic champions. We just had a bust of a World Cup. It would be rock bottom if we didn't even qualify for the Olympics. So there's massive games coming up, and they need to find a way to get the results.
Real quick, I want to touch on right before the women's team went over there to Australia and stuff. There was there's turmoil in the organization itself, and not just the women's, but the men's too, with Canada and funding and all that. Do you think that had something to do with it and affected the girls going over there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. The off the field issues, I can't get into like a lot of them, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help. There was a lot on Twitter. It was a debate. It's like, the girls got put in an uncomfortable position and it wasn't fair to them 100%. And it just doesn't help. But again, the women they're professionals. They'll look at themselves in the mirror and be like, you know what, we weren't up for it this round. It is. Jessie Fleming had an emotional interview after the game. She was disappointed. But you can't get away from the fact that the off the field issues would have played some part, and it sucks that they're happening. And I hope that it can come to a close eventually. For sure.
Is that it for Christine Sinclair as on Team Canada?
I don't know. I'm assuming she'll have some type of farewell game. Hopefully in Vancouver.
Okay.
But I mean, that's probably her last
World Cup.
Her last World Cup for sure.
Cups,
I mean, she'd
right?
be 40.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was her, 6 World Cups. She would have been the first player ever to score in 6, so that missed penalty stings just a touch more. But again, such a decorated career, such an incredible talent, such an inspiration to a lot of young women out there. So I hope she deserves and gets this farewell game, however they're going to do it. But it's hard to think of that when you have such an important couple matches coming up against Jamaica. So I'm sure that they're going to handle it, because this is a legend of the game by far. So I want to see them do it properly whenever that happens, but there's definitely right on the horizon in a few months, there's some important matches coming up for this national team.
Cool. I look forward to it. So overall, soccer expert, YouTube guy, and brand new job with One Soccer. What's your thoughts on the World Cup overall so far after the first round? Impressive, boring, give me your take.
It's been exciting. It's the attendance has been fantastic. The numbers, the TV ratings you see, they just keep increasing. I saw a couple of graphics of the last few World Cups and how the views just keep going up and up. It's exactly what you want to see. Australia and New Zealand are doing an incredible job right now. I think there's going to be a new winner. The US have won the past 2 editions. They did not look comfortable getting out of that group.
Almost didn't make it.
Almost didn't make it. There's some good stories happening. Colombia, Jamaica. I'm just trying to think of a couple other underdog stories that made it out of the group, but there's some big hitters that will be looking to win the World Cup. I'm looking at Spain, France, England.
You got England,
definitely. England's probably one of the favorites right now, but I mean, Sweden's in there as well, and you can't rule out the US. It's just they're not. And the Netherlands as well, who topped that group. But
the U.S. team I saw took some backlash, too, for going and taking selfies with the fans in the stands and stuff after, what was a crucial game. They didn't really play well at all. And I saw in the media, they definitely took some backlash for how they handled, hobnobbing with the fans and stuff after, when, they maybe should have been in the dressing room going over, wow, we just made it sort of deal. So, I mean, I don't really see it as a big deal. It's probably just the U.S. media nitpicking a bit, but doesn't matter. Your thoughts on it, or should we just skip over that?
No, I agree. I don't. I mean, it's if they would have got eliminated, I would have looked at it a lot differently.
Yeah.
But, they made it through. Even if they won that game by a few goals, they wouldn't have been able to top the group. The Netherlands got a massive goal difference. It was a poor performance. It's frustrating, but I mean, it is what it is. This is the 2-time defending champions. They know how to win in these type of situations. So just because they didn't have the strongest group stage, I would definitely wouldn't rule them out and see what they can do in the knockouts.
You got to pick moving forward out of the 16, or do you see some upsets?
I'm torn.
USA is going to lose, or where are we at with your predictions?
My prediction, I would go with the US not winning. Would be predict 1, and I'm looking at France. I was looking at them before the tournament. They had a bit of turmoil going on in their camp as well, but it seems like they got the pieces going and the team thriving right now. So they're kind of my pick to do something special in this World Cup.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the games. It is too bad. There's definitely some weird times because of, they are on the other side of the world. And we sort of touched on this. Women's soccer really is looking good moving forward, isn't it? Just the way it's grown and the way that even the way that first round went, like you said, there was some exciting moments. There was some incredible goals, including one yesterday from, she was in between half and then the box line, and it just dusted it in the top corner. It is pretty exciting for ladies and the organization moving forward, for not just Canada but for all of them, right?
Yeah, the big narrative I'm seeing is the rest of the world is catching up. I mean, Canada's had a lot of success throughout the years. So has the U.S. and the European nations, South American nations. Like these countries are catching up, and you see it with the development of the leagues. England's got a very strong women's league right now. France has always had a strong one. Germany, Spain, that Barcelona side looks very dangerous. And even Italy, like Julia Grosso's playing over there at Juventus. Roma's got a strong team. Like when you start developing these really talented European leagues, it helps because we got some good players playing over there as well. But for the development, this is right in their backyard. And I mean, Spain's, I haven't even mentioned them. They're Barcelona with an incredible team that won the Women's Champions League. A lot of that core pieces are in the Spanish squad, and they're a team not to take lightly at all. And it's good to see. It's pushing every single country, and that's why I think the narrative in the U.S. when the women were taking those pictures and they're not top in the group, is like, what's happening? This is a team that's ran through the past few Olympics, not the one that Canada won, but the past few, and as well as the World Cups. Like this is a team that just knows how to win, and it kind of seems like the nerves are being rattled a bit with these other nations showing that, look out because we're coming.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I'm really excited to watch the rest of it, as a lot of people are, and I'm sure you are too. It is unfortunate Canada didn't make it, but listen, that's how it goes sometimes, and hopefully they'll rebound pretty positively out of this, and we'll see who comes out on top this year at the 2023 World Cup. I gotta ask you before I let you go, because it's soccer related and stuff, what's your take on Messi playing down in Miami and just walking through guys?
Yeah, it's quite, Canadian there, Kamal Miller, all of a sudden kind of seemed like he was going to go to Europe for a bit, and then all of a sudden Messi, Busquets, and Jordi Alba get dropped in, and I think it's fair to say he's probably not going anywhere right now, but
why would you?
Yeah, it's incredible. And I just saw a stat today, and I don't have it off the top of my head, but it was something to do with the Chicago Fire and their attendance, because they have a notoriously poor attendance record. But the matches now that Messi is going to be playing, so when Messi and Inter go to Chicago, they're going to fill that stadium, and these MLS teams, despite not having Messi, are going to make money because Messi is there, and he's doing such an incredible ripple effect throughout the league. It's incredible seeing those first few games, him scoring goals. He's having fun, his family. He had a huge offers coming from Saudi Arabia, so to head down to MLS, he did it for a personal reason. He did it to make his wife happy, his kids happy, and he's looking like he's enjoying it. And sometimes big players can come down to Major League Soccer and kind of go on cruise control, and like looking at Insigne, and it's difficult to see a successful story there. But when you come in with your heart in the right place, and you're wanting to make the league better and your team better, you can have a big impact. And you've seen it already. Robert Taylor, who's a winger on Inter Miami, has just been glowing right now, playing alongside Messi, scoring goals.
Sure.
This is incredible. It's a guy who's playing in the non-league over in England only a few years ago, and he's playing alongside Messi. So it's a great story for the league. It's great to see that Messi's taken the project seriously, and Inter Miami is definitely not a team to sleep on, because there's a couple cups they could win this year.
Yeah, and Beckham must just be sitting rubbing his hands with glee every single night.
Yeah, Inter's made a lot of mistakes since joining Major League Soccer. Don't get around that. Yeah. They made some bad ones, but when you have star power like that, and Beckham's another player who's done so much for the league when he first came over, that was the kickstart. So for him to be able to kind of bring in the next kickstart is massive. So it's exciting to see, and I'm lucky enough to be able to watch Messi. I have a Messi jersey here too, right in there. I was able to watch Messi in Camp now, and I saw him score a goal live, so I'll always have that with me.
Right on. That's pretty cool. Last thing before I let you go, what's up next for the men's team?
They're supposed to have a couple of friendlies in September. They're not scheduled right now. The off the pitch issues could have a play on that, but they are just friendlies. So nothing on the horizon right now besides just trying to figure out, with the federation and get those friendlies. But there is the 2024 Copa America, where a big tournament's going to happen between the 10 South American teams and the top 6 CONCACAF teams, which will be a lot of fun. Going to be hosted in the US, and then it's just preparation for the 2026 World Cup. But we're co-hosts, so just a lot of friendlies. A very different process to 2026 than it was 2022.
Awesome. Well, listen, Josh, I really appreciate you taking the time to join me on Trippin' with Bondzee. It's been great having you. Big shout out to all the folks in Turkey Point. And we can't remember who exactly sort of put us together, but big shout out to them. And I'm glad they did, because I love soccer. I love chatting with it. And it just sort of fit in perfect with the Women's World Cup and your new job and everything too. So where can people find you?
I do basically everything now over on the One Soccer YouTube channel. So if you want to see any of the videos over there, we cover the national teams, local leagues, Canadian Major League Soccer teams, and of course the Canadians abroad. So One Soccer on YouTube.
JJJ, is that JJD TV, right, on YouTube?
Yeah. That was my YouTube channel. I don't actually post really on it anymore.
Okay.
So I'll do all my work on One Soccer. But if you want to interact with me on Twitter, you can as well. That is TV_JJD.
Perfect. Well, I hope to see you this summer. Next time I'm up at Turkey Point, we'll have a beer and a cheers, and good luck with the new gig, and enjoy the rest of your summer.
I appreciate it, man. Cheers.
Yeah, take care, buddy. Thank you. You gotta unmute your mic, you stupid idiot. There you go. That was my boy Josh. Check him out. One Soccer. I mean. And fantastic guy. I love soccer. He loves soccer. I think he loves it a lot more than me, but I really do love it. So if you love soccer, go check him out. Go England in the Women's World Cup. And I really appreciate Josh taking the time to join old Bonzarelli on Trippin' with Bondzee. And again, big shout out to Turkey Point and all the people up there. I love that place to death. I really do. It is a magical place, because it's sort of, you don't have to drive very far to get there from the Hamilton region, okay? But maybe an hour and 15 minutes and stuff. But it is just tucked away. But it's a beautiful little spot, I'll tell you. And the people there, they really are special. They've been there a long time. There's a lot of history there. And they are just one tight little community, and they welcome everybody in. Don't be a stupid idiot, and don't go acting like a moron. But otherwise, listen, I can't believe, and I honestly, I can't tell you the amount of beautiful houses that I've been to, and the people that have welcomed me in, and we've had some pretty special times up there. The laughs, especially just the party that I went to on Friday night, beside Tequilaville is Tequilaville, and it's always a good time. And it's like the after party of the party. It's always open till late. I don't know how they do it, but they do. And Tequilaville is not even a bar. For those who are wondering what the hell Tequilaville is, it's just a little special place that if you're in Turkey Point, and if you're in the Turkey Point, you'll know what it's all about. And if you're lucky enough to be invited there or dragged along or end up there, then good on you. And everybody's welcome at Tequilaville. And I really do love those people. And I'm looking forward to more great times up there. Oh, and I was just mentioning that party I was at Friday night, off the charts. I've never seen a bigger group of people just stand around and sort of we had a DJ, and not a paid DJ, just it's a girl that took on the role of playing DJ because she wanted everybody to be happy. And listen, she did an amazing job. We all got to request our go-to song, and we all just had the best time around this. This place was stunningly beautiful, right on the water, right on the canal. It was one of the biggest boats I've ever seen, sitting up front, and it was really great times. The vibe was super awesome. It was like I just left the Wiz concert and was right there in positive vibes. Everybody's dancing and rocking and bouncing and having a great time. It was super special. All right, blah, blah, blah. What's that? Oh, we got to talk about this pant load real quick. This video of the cop who absolutely embarrassed himself. I've got so many questions about this video, to be honest with you. So I guess before I get into all the videos, and without further ado, let's play the video, and we can laugh at it together. And then I got questions. Ready? Let's go. Play, bitch. Oh, we are having more. Well, I don't understand what's going on. Maybe it's my computer tonight. Maybe is it me? Here we go.
Why was it so?
Well, like, look, hey, this is Kid's Flight. Now, granted, it's a pretty good Kid's Flight, but still, I don't.
Why was it so?
We're gonna watch it one more time. Listen. Clank, 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 clank.
Why was it so?
One more time. Watch this guy. Why?
Why was it so?
Why on the belly, first of all? I can't figure it out. The guy, the girl, he was with a partner, and so I'm not gonna get into. I couldn't play the whole video. You got to keep it short and sweet because that's the best part. She comes down, no problem. She's sitting the video in this pant load. I don't know if he greased up like he was Griswold out of Lampoon's Vacation, a Christmas Vacation, but or if he took a run and jump or did both. But he came down that thing. I'd like to say hot, but if he came down hot, it would almost be like. Now I understand it's got some twists and turns, but if you understand how to steer the old kid slides back in the day, you could ride that thing like a water slide. And I understand it's not a water slide, but I can't understand his first mistake. Oh, let's play this one more time because his first mistake. Let's set this up here. I gotta put that up. Was coming down feet first.
Why was it so?
What? Who in the holy hell comes down the slide feet first? On their belly, asking for trouble. Just ask me. I got a scar for life on the bottom of my chin from being at Brawny Creek when I was a kid. Went down the slide, feet first, belly, hit the bottom. That guy just slid, and he's lucky he slid. I have questions here. Why are the Boston police mucking about going down kid slides to the and then going down like I just can't. I gotta play this one more time because I can't figure out. I can't figure out why, and B, I can't figure out why he comes why they're there and doing this. Aren't you on duty?
Why was it so?
I still can't help but laugh. Look at this.
Why was it so?
Fuck is right. One more time, and I'll let it go. And the way his body gets chucked around in that video is absolutely absurd. Again, why? Why were they doing that whilst on duty? Why is she filming it? And why did he come down feet first on his belly and look like a complete loser? So many questions, probably never get any answers. Oh, well, it is what it is. Okay, I got to do a few videos. We only got a few minutes left. I got to get out of here. I am tired as a mofo. I have a date with my pillow in my bed and my dog, who is right there snoring his ass off, and I can't wait to be doing the same in a hot second. But we got to do a couple of dummies of the week. And listen, it's summertime out there, folks. We're all having a jolly good time, especially me. I've been blessed with so many great friends to get me out of this crazy house for the summer. So I won't get into it. But listen, I've got a couple of beauty summer videos. And listen, guys, we all like to show off for the ladies out there and stuff. But there's a time and a place to be stupid and not be stupid. And maybe you should be better at what you do before you're stupid in front of the girls, especially Mr. Muscles here. Watch this. Maybe you should have worked on those neck muscles and spinning muscles, you numbskull. And massive fail. Look at me, ladies. I'm going to do a jump with my muscles. Ready? One more time. And oh, man, that has to hurt. All those ladies standing around watching them. Oh, guarantee that loser did not get laid that night. He had full-on concussion, was probably in the hospital. I can laugh because that wasn't me and I didn't do anything. I've had a pretty awesome summer, and I'm jinxing myself almost, but I haven't done anything really stupid yet. Though I do have a beauty story coming up for you after this one more water video, where I got to give the kid credit for his confidence and ability to go and mock and pull this off. but he still ends up being on Bonzee's whatchamacallit dummy of the week video. Ready? Watch this kid. I love it. Totally doing his little, what are they doing? That's the like synchronized diving, but what the diving board girls do too, they pull off the thing, they get up and they go bang. In front of all those people, in front of all his friends. Epic fail, bro. One more time. Look, you gotta give the kid credit for a lot of fancy moves. He's been watching a lot of synchronized diving. And then he blew it. Out of old Bondzee, and he done gone blew it right in front of all the girls and all the fellas. What do we got next? Oh, I had a story for you. So this weekend in Turkey Point, epic time at Tequilaville. It's Saturday night. Some friends come and visit, and they bring friends. And well, let's just say that you have to pull into a canal to get to Tequilaville, and the only way there, well, by the back end is by boat. It's time to go. I'm in Tequilaville, standing watching over, and I see guests go ass over tea kettle right into the canal. One too many drinks. Probably should have left a little earlier. She was not driving, so there's that. But God damn it, I love summer. It's the funnest time of year because people get out of the house. You know, there's no more snow. There's no more bullshit here up in Ontario and Canada where it snows a lot and it's cold. People let loose in the summer. And listen, this girl let loose and she had the bestest time and she sobered up really, really quickly. Ain't nobody want to be swimming in that canal. Believe me, you. What do we got next? Oh, speaking of summer, speaking of boats, speaking of Potahawk and some amazing stuff out there, you folks got to check out. I've never, ever in my life seen a boat like this. This fellow wins. Check it out.
Boat you've ever seen on the lake. I will go first.
Definitely wins. I'm not sure how I ended up off screen there. All right, couple more before I get out of here. Oh, this is a beauty. Now listen, I know it's summer, but training camps are around the corner, and this video it came across. I might be a week late playing it. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't, but God damn it, hockey brawls are the best, and hockey brawls are the best when up in the top corner out of nowhere, Buddy is fighting a ghost, and you've never seen anything like it. Are you ready? Check this out. Watch this. What? Who in the holy hell is Buster fighting? Well, we've even got some kicks and stuff in there too, like a little karate kick shot. Meanwhile, there's a whole brawl going in the background. And then the stick gets a bit of it. Check this out again. Oh, helmet's off. I can't even make fun of him. He picks up the stick. The best part of this whole video. Give the stick a little bit of how's your father at the end. You ready? 1 from 2? Boom. Okay, I've got to gain some composure. One of the greatest videos I've ever seen in my whole entire life. But then there's this little gem that rolled across my feet this morning. I think a big shout out to I got a bunch of people who send me videos religiously, and listen, I love it. I thank you so much for all of them. I think this one is from Karen Hammond. I hope I said that right. Hannon. This is a gem too. Ready? Watch this. My God. It's a girl after my own heart.
Wait.
She drinks beer. Yo, the cat wants some beer. Well, I want to sip. My turn. Cat's like, yo, my turn. Your my turn.
Wait. What?
I want that cat. I want that cat right now. Listen, I don't drink beer, but me and that cat, I'll get that thing drinking wine in no time. Well, the cat won't really like me soon because we won't be drinking wine soon. But listen, that's another story for another time. I've got one more before I get out of here. I'm 5 minutes over my time, but it's okay. I took last week off. I've got a couple of good things to get to. And listen, we're just having fun. Speaking of fun, I'm not sure. Oh, sorry. Let me get this fucking broad off the screen. I am not sure how much fun this next video is. I don't even know, quite frankly, what this next video is. Shout out to Tone, my boy Tone Nailer, for sending me this one. Love this guy to pieces. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to me either. There is not a fella on the planet that exists that sends me more ridiculous, crazy, insane, informative, funny, sometimes boring, weird, obsolete videos than this guy. And some of them are gems. And this one is a gem. I'm not really sure why or what the hell's going on, but maybe you can decide for yourself. Are you ready? Buckle up and watch this. I don't want to play this game. Go.
I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others, and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you I don't want to hear it anymore.
Night.
I don't want to hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts that you're not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door. On all you poor ass haters and get heads in the clouds. Talking out loud so proud. You better
So
shut
I'm
your
not
goddamn
sure if
mouth.
it's like, it looks like with it rugby / football / MMA / UFC / WWE. These guys just run around fighting each other for fun, but then there's a ball that's involved in the game. I honestly think don't tell me you believe that. You just gotta take that. And all of that one said, somebody gets knocked out, gets up, and then all of a sudden somebody gets smoked, and winner! And the crowd goes wild. Like, what the fuck? Nobody really won this game. I don't even know what we just watched. I don't know how you win. I don't ever want to play it. Pretty sure you don't either, but that's how we're going to end this show. I just don't know. And sometimes I just don't know why I do the show. Sometimes I just don't know why y'all watch the show, but I think we all get to have good laughs. I think we can agree on that, right? Woo! I did it. It's another show in the books. Episode, I think, 256? What did I say at the top? 256. I was right. By golly gee. Listen, we done did it. It was a great show. It was fun. And I'm trying to get now. I shouldn't have done that because now I lost my sponsors in the end of my thing. Big thanks to Josh. My guy Josh joined us tonight. Big soccer guy. Go check him out. One Soccer. It's everything Canadian soccer. So if you're a big fan of Canadian soccer, whether it be men's, women's, the juniors, under 18s, they got it all. Plus, they got his other channel, JJD TV, has got everything you need for the other soccer news across and around the world. Peace out to my guy, Dan T. Love you, guy. Take it easy. Have a great night in Toronto. Be safe down there and keep doing what you're doing, bro. And thanks for the support. All right. Next week, hopefully we got Alan Cross. I did done fuck that up. Hopefully he will be kind enough to forgive me for going to the Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa concert instead of doing a show with him. And also working on JJ Wild, plus some other great guests. Guillaume Brodeur from that show, Yukon Gold, will join us at some point, I promise. Excuse me. It's just a matter of scheduling. It's a matter of timing. It's a matter of it's the middle of gold season, and man, the season is short. If you've ever seen the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. So it might be in October, November before we get Guillaume, but he'll be on the show. All right. Glorious Sons is Friday. Port Colborne free concert. I shouldn't even tell anybody that because I don't be taking my front row seat. Anyways, you won't be because I'm going to be there early, going with all my Glorious Sons friends. I love you all. We're all the amigos. Can't wait to see all my friends. The Glorious Sons are the best band in the world now. They really have taken over from a band, the Tragically Hip, which I will forever hold dear in my heart. God bless. Rest in peace, Gord Downey. Woo! All right, that's it. That's all. I'm stoked for the weekend. Glorious Sons, I don't know what you're doing, but do it good, do it well, be safe. I love each and every one of you. The show is brought to you by my boys' clothing. I've been rocking it hard. I rocked it all weekend up in Turkey Point, and people are excited. It's called Don't Trip, You're Fine. You can find it on Instagram. You can go follow him there. He's got his own website, Don't Trip, You're Fine. And there it is. Don't forget, it's YOU''RE. Go get it. It's the best. You can get toques, hoodies, hats, even acid wash t-shirts. There's a lot of new summer stuff on the gamble, if you will, or on the whatever on the shelf. So go check them out. It's Don't Trip, You're Fine. That's my boys' clothing. I love it. You'll love it too. Be a part of it. Because why wouldn't you? Everybody's getting it. My girl, Ann Bailey, is a huge fan. She's a huge Glorious Sons fan. She's a huge fan of my son's stuff. And I really appreciate everybody for supporting my boys. Really proud of them. That's it. That's all. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. It's Bondzee Live, Trippin' With Bondzee on YouTube and Facebook and wherever the hell else we are in this planet. Adios. Bye.
What was that?
That was very strange.
It was very weird.
Peculiar.
It was kind of amusing.
Yes, it was rather funny.
It was incredibly funny.
I loved it.
Hilarious. Wonderful.
Next to go, I check the line. Who's next to go?
Bondzee Live. Bondzee on YouTube.